21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Stress kills, but you need stress for success. This puts entrepreneurs in a bit of a sticky situation. Now, if you want to be as successful as you can in your entrepreneurial journey and you want to balance it with your health and fitness journey, you need to have strategies to effectively manage that stress, or put it a bit bluntly, you will be in an early grave. My name is Mark Gray and I am the head coach and founder of the Paradigm Project coaching program. Now, you might be sitting there wondering who the hell this chap is with his funny Irish accent, but I have been a coach for the last 10 years, coming up to a decade now, and I specialize in pain-free performance, and I specialize again with entrepreneurs, business owners, C-suite executives, those top dogs in those very, very high pressured and stressful situations. Stress is part and parcel of every single entrepreneur's journey, and having the ability to successfully manage that stress is going to be the deciding factor between how successful you are. If you want to get to those upper echelons of being highly successful, not just with your business, but most importantly with your health, you have to have the ability to manage your stress effectively. Now, I've been working with entrepreneurs and, like I said, business owners, C-suite executives, people in very, very high pressured situations for the last 5-6 years exclusively. And I have helped some very, very successful and important people achieve some amazing things with their health and fitness. One of them has been stress management and having the ability to successfully manage that stress so it doesn't overawe them and get them down, because whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not, stress can cause you pain. Pain more in the form of physical pain than mental pain. Stress is a pain in the ass, sorry, pardon my French, but it's also a pain physically. So if you don't manage that stress and get it under control, it can unfortunately leave the pain. It can lead to injuries. And then after a while, you are left with a body that is crumbling, it is broken. What the hell are you going to do then with your entrepreneurial journey? It's going to fall, it's going to collapse. And at the end of the day, as cliche and cheesy as this sounds, your health is your wealth. There is a very, very scary trend I started to notice amongst a lot of entrepreneurs I would work with and the other folks as well. And that is, a lot of these people were extremely successful. I mean, extremely successful in their careers, in their businesses. Some of them had 8-9 figure businesses, but as successful as they were in that front, it had unfortunately come at a price, and that price was them sacrificing their health. I would meet these people and they would come to me looking for either weight loss, looking to look a bit better in their clothes, whatever it is, you name it. But every single one of them, and I mean this, every single one of them would come to me with some sort of injury. And this wasn't just some coincidence. This is 10, 20, 30, 40 people, every single one of them, very similar backgrounds, business owners, entrepreneurs, every single one of them had pain. Okay. So I started to try and piece 2 and 2 together. At the start, I was getting 7. Eventually, with my research and just getting into things, I eventually stumbled across what I thought was the problem, and that was their lifestyle. And their lifestyle was very, very stress orientated. It was a lot of decisions and nothing overly physical. Now, I've been an athlete for 20 years. I've played all sorts of sports. I've had broken bones. I've had sprains, you name it. I've had it all. But I haven't had any pains that weren't related to sports. Now, all these people I was meeting, they weren't out on the running track. They weren't on the basketball court. They weren't smashing into other people playing American football like I did. They were at their desk. They were going to meetings. They were doing projects, yet they were suffering from chronic lower back pain. They had bad knees, bad hips, bad shoulders, you name it. I've seen it all. They had it all. And I have clients at the moment that are suffering from those things as well. And like I said, it hasn't been from busting their butt in the gym or out on the track. It was just from living life. And that life is not conducive to health. And that's where I come in. And my goal as a coach is just to guide them to a position where they prioritize their health and fitness. Because this was the trend that I was noticing. This was the problem I was finding. When I said after or just before a second ago that I was getting 2 and 2 and I was finding 7, eventually I stumbled across 4, and the result was a lack of priority. Okay, now I've been training in the gym for 20 years. I've been a coach for 10. Health and fitness is my life. Okay, I've walked the walk. I've talked the talk. I absolutely love it. Like, I don't have to think about going to the gym. I don't have to think about getting to bed in time. Well, sometimes I do. But I just love doing what I do. Like, I love to train. I love to do it all. So health and fitness has always been my number one priority. Even when I was a student attempting to get my degrees, it was still my number one priority. As much as my study should have been, my lecturers would have wanted that, it wasn't. These people, a lot of entrepreneurs, and you may be listening to this right now as an entrepreneur that's absolutely busting ass, you're smashing it, you're doing really well. And you might be sitting there thinking, actually, hold on, I sound a bit like that. I am doing great in my business, but my back is sore every day. Think to yourself, how are you going to be in 10 years? How are you going to be in 15 years, 20 years? Heck, will I even make 20 years? Okay, and these are the real conversations and questions you have to pose yourself. And these are questions and conversations I pose to people all the time. And they're uncomfortable, but these are the ones you need to have. If your health is not your number one priority, eventually it will catch up with you. It will bite you in the ass and your world will come crushing down. Now, that sounds very, very dramatic, and I want it to sound dramatic, okay? When it comes to people's health, I don't mess around, and nor should you. Having a business is great. Having £1 million in the bank is great. Having £10 million in the bank is great. But you may as well have £0 or 0 cent or pennies, whatever the hell it is, if you don't have a fully functioning, healthy body. Like I said earlier on, health is your wealth. It's cliche, it's cheesy, but you will never hear a truer word spoken. So that's the message I want to get across to you today, is where is your health and fitness on your priority list? Is it where most entrepreneurs have it? I meet a lot of my clients, and their health and fitness journey is probably like 4 or 5 steps down. It goes business, family, car, bloody sports team, whatever it is, dog, health and fitness. that's a recipe for disaster. Your health and fitness needs to be right at the top, okay? And then way down here, it's like business. Now, probably family actually, then business, okay, if you're doing it right. Now, I know that is quite hard for a lot of people to understand or to fathom, is that you've always been business, business, business. And I get it. I'm an entrepreneur myself in the fitness world. I work really long hours. I bust myself at my desk. I spend more time in this office than I do anywhere else besides my bed. But it is number three on my priority list. It's behind my fiance, my dog, and they're below my health and fitness journey. I know that if I prioritize myself, I am going to be a stronger, healthier, happier, more confident version of myself. And then I can look after everything else. I can look after those two, eventually a family in the future, and then I can look after my business. If I can look after my business better, I can look after my clients better. I can help more people doing things like this. And then flip it around. If I got a better business, I can look after my family more. So you see, that all starts by prioritizing your health. So that's just the big thing I want to get across to you right now, is that and before I say that, something I've said to a lot of clients is that if you actually want to be uber successful with your business and you want to be the best entrepreneur you can possibly be, best business owner, the biggest superpower you can have is yourself. So if you're an entrepreneur, you are the business. If you are not firing on all cylinders, if you are lacking energy, if you are sore, if you are overweight, if you are stressed, if you are underslept, if you are malnourished because your diet is crap, how is that conducive to a successful growth-oriented business? It's not. Okay. Now, while you might have had great success, and I'll revert back to my clients, one of my clients runs like an 8-9 figure business. Okay. Just one, like, extremely successful person. So he has got very far without prioritizing his health and fitness. But when he came to me, he had certain injuries, certain things he wanted to work on. In the last few years, his business has gone like that. Okay, it has shot up. And I've had that with more clients in the last few years than I can count. I've had clients open new businesses, expand new businesses, act on projects they've had in the back burner for years and years and years. Not because I'm giving them business advice, because that is way out of my depth, but because I am helping them build a version of them that is the greatest version possible. So then they can go into work, into their meetings, into their projects with more energy. They've got more confidence, because if you're in the gym smashing weights, all of a sudden when you go into a meeting or you go into like a room with potential investors or shareholders, whatever it is, you take that in your stride. Okay, you're used to doing the heavy stuff, the hard stuff in the gym. You're well slept, your energy's high, your stress is low, your confidence is up because you're happier, you fit in your clothes, all these sorts of things. These all roll into one and make you a better entrepreneur. And then flipping it back to what I mentioned earlier on, I'm a pain-free performance specialist, amongst other things. It's kind of a fancy title, but long story short, what it means and what I do is I just help people escape pain. So I help them reclaim a life and a way of movement that they just didn't think they were going to have again. One of my clients, awesome, she's an absolute star, had lower back pain for 30 years. 3 decades of her life was spent with chronic lower back pain. And I mean chronic lower back pain, to the point where she would spend weeks in bed. She had seen every single surgeon, specialist, doctor, you name it, in the country. She had those tests where they pump the fluids through your body and they watch it on an x-ray or whatever, a scan machine. And they couldn't see or couldn't find any solution as to what was wrong with her. her family had only ever known her as the lady with a very, very, very bad back. Now, she came to me a few years ago, and then at the start of August, she ran her first 10K race. She is now completely pain-free. She has no back pain. She's as strong as she's ever been. She recently launched her own business last year as well, all as a result of prioritizing her health, prioritizing her body, and prioritizing herself. So if you want the ultimate growth tool as an entrepreneur, it's to get your butt in the gym. It's to get get yourself to bed. It is to manage your stress. It is to watch what you eat. It is to do all these things, because your health is the number one tool you'll ever have and will ever have when it comes to growing your business, expanding your reach, whatever it is. Now, this lady has been with me as a client now for, I'd say, 3 or 4 years now. So we have been a project. It hasn't taken her 3 or 4 years to eliminate her back pain. After a few months, actually, to be honest, after a few weeks, she started to see progress. But when we had our first initial chat, she was very hesitant. Now, she came to me off the back of a referral of another client, a very well-known client, had put up an Instagram post. This person has hundreds of thousands of followers. She seen the post and then thought, I'm on like last chance saloon. Is like, I've tried everything else. Why not give this guy a chance? So she messaged me. We jumped on the phone and she told me her situation. She wanted to lose like 10, 15 kilos, but the main one was she wanted to eliminate. She didn't say eliminate her back pain. She said she wanted to improve her back pain. Now that was key to me, because when people come to me, now I don't just help people eliminate their pain. Like, I help people get stronger, improve their energy, feel better. I improve their mobility, lots and lots of things. I wasn't just someone that worked with people in their pain. It's just, if you have a niggle, if it's just a sore shoulder, whatever it is, I can fix it. And then we can spend 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever it is, making you look and feel as good as you bloody want. But getting back to this lady, she said she wanted to improve her pain. Now, when people come to me, they say they want to eliminate their pain. Her back was that bad, she never thought it was possible for her to be in a position where she would eliminate her pain. So she didn't say it to me. I picked it up and I gave her the guarantee on the phone straight away, without ever having seen her move. I said that we will fix your back in the next like 6 months, 9 months, and we will completely eliminate your back pain. It wasn't until about a year or two ago she told me that she kind of believed me, but she was very, very, very apprehensive in terms of the back pain thing. But she thought, why the hell not? Let's go with it. She said she felt a very calming sense from me. I'm Irish, I'm very empathetic, and I've got a somewhat good personality. And she went with it. We spent the next few months working on certain things. I can't stress this enough, is that when you are starting a new chapter in your health and fitness journey, approach it like your business. Okay, now this is why I tell all my clients, or I tell any new prospects, is that if you are starting up a business, what's the first thing you do? You have a business plan. When you are engaging in a new health and fitness endeavor, you need a plan. And that's what I give clients. I give them a crystal clear plan that they can then go on a journey and then achieve the things they want to achieve. If you don't have that plan, you have nothing, because you are literally just walking into the dark with your eyes shut, and you're just going to bump into things. It's not going to go very well. Now, this lady, after a few months, she started to get better. After a few months she started to get better. And then, like I said, last month, she ran her first 10K race. She never had any any vision or wishes to run. She thought her running days were completely behind her. She is in her late 50s, and now she's as fit and strong as she's ever been. And we have new aspirations and goals for bigger races coming in next year. But the picture I want to paint, and just I want to make this concrete and in stone, is approach this like your business, in that it's not going to happen overnight. Okay. Overnight success is that thing that all of a sudden you get that result, but that is the result of months and months and months of work where you don't really see much. Okay. And you might sit there and question yourself as to, is it working? Am I going to get where I'm going to get to? If you have a rock solid plan of a coach like myself who knows what they're doing, if you trust in the process, eventually you will get to where you want to get to. But it takes time. Just like a business takes time to grow, this takes time as well. Now, just like your business, you need a plan in order for you to get X, Y, and Z. When it comes to your body and your health, and while we're on the topic, eliminating your pain, you need a plan. Now, just going to use my previous client as an example. She came to me with extreme chronic lower back pain. So there were certain things we could and couldn't do. Now, what I do with all my clients when they start with me is I bring them through a onboarding system. One of the first things they do is a questionnaire about their life, so I can get a bit more of a understanding as to what they do on a day-to-day basis, what they do for work, how long they're sat, etc., hobbies. It gives me a bit more of an understanding. And then I combine that with a movement assessment. Now, this is extremely important. I need to get a picture as to how that person is moving. Now, with this particular client, there was certain things that she just couldn't do. That then gives me the information. I call it my blueprint. Then when I combine that with the question she gave me to the answer to the questionnaire I gave her, I can then build a specific, tailored, personalized program that is built exactly for her and her unique needs and wants. And that's the key. So if you are out there and you are wanting to improve, or you are in a similar situation, it is imperative that you get yourself a plan that is customized to you. Please don't go and find something on Google or ChatGPT, because while you might find good stuff, there will be things in there that are just not tailored to you. If you got a bad back and it is getting you to do certain exercises, all it takes is one poor movement and your back pain can be made 10x worse. So I can't stress that point enough. In the beginning stages, we will look to progressively improve movements, get you to a point where you can then perform some movements pain-free, and then we progressively challenge your movement, your stability, working on your strength, increasing your mobility, and very, very importantly, is working on your confidence. Now, confidence with just overall movement. I could live in a gym. I love the gym. I love playing sports. All of my clients are completely different in that sense. I have a few clients, in fairness, that like to do like sport and things, but their priorities are their business. It's their family. Okay, they don't want to be spending loads of time in the gym. So what I do is I help them improve their overall life. So by getting them confident in the gym and getting them stronger at certain positions and movements, that there has a positive impact and rollover to their day-to-day life. So then they can live a better quality of life. They're happier, they're more confident, they've got more freedom, and they can spend it without the stress of potential pain with their family and friends and their loved ones. So continuing on the theme of pain and injuries and eliminating your pain, I have an incredible ebook that I launched a few months ago. Now, this thing took me months and months and months of lots of hard work to get done. Now, the reason it took me so long is because it is action-packed with some life-changing information. Now, I could 100% charge for this, and to be honest, with all the work I put into it, I probably should charge for it, but I'm giving it to you for free, and it's been free for months since it's been out, and it is the Entrepreneur's Ultimate Guide to Health and Pain-Free Performance. Now, inside of this free ebook, you will find a bunch of extremely helpful information on training, so gym, your workouts, nutrition, sleep, stress management. There's also a full list of supplements and vitamins, as well as the latest tech. It is full of just extremely helpful information. But if you think that ebook just isn't going to cut it for you, and to be honest, for most people it won't, then get in touch. Because if you are suffering with lower back pain, maybe you've got a bad knee, you can't run anymore, or maybe you're just 15, 20 kilos overweight and you're unhappy with what you see in the mirror, or better yet, maybe you are extremely low in energy and you can't even play catch with your kids, whatever it is, then get in touch with me on LinkedIn at Mark Gray. You'll find me on there. You can also check out my website and book in a free call. No obligation call at my website, paradigmproject.uk. My email is also on that as well. And the great things about these calls is I'm not expecting you to sign up. If you do, amazing. But what we'll do is we will have a discussion about what has held you back, what you want to do. And even if you don't decide to come on as a client, you will leave with a bunch of extremely helpful content and actionable steps that then you can go implement and create your own progress. But if you need the help and you need a helping hand, then you know where I am.
"21st Century Entrepreneurship" with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.